Hello and welcome to Member Musing, a video podcast series that will bring audiences closer to the state of the MENA leisure and entertainment industry, as well as throwing light on innovative services, products and achievements of Menalac members. Now, I have two guests with me on today's episode of Member Musing. Let's say hello to Jim Mayfield, President and Chief Executive Officer of Subsea Systems, and Hannah de Bie, Vice President, Marketing and Communications for Subsea Systems. A very warm welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Now, by the company's name, I think our audience can guess that we're going to be talking all things water today. Subsea Systems is a family business that designs immersive and interactive products and programs for the marine tourism industry. Subsea Systems is celebrating over 30 years under the sea. So, Jim, as president, can you take me through the company's journey a bit? And also, what motivates you to keep producing innovative water attractions over 30 years?
Well, thank you for inviting us. You know, as our name implies, we always joke, we say we go under every day, and that's not in a bankruptcy way. But our passion and really the pursuit of the company through products is to find and make the ocean accessible. So we've been creating products now for 35 years that has been making the ocean accessible to people who have no diving skill, or they're not scuba divers, they're not people who are trained to be able to explore under the sea. So we're doing it in a very friendly and easy way to make the oceans accessible. And that's our mission.
You have a number of products here in the MENA region. These include some newer ones like your Sea Trek that is at the new SeaWorld in Abu Dhabi. And as well, you have a project underway, but hopefully you can tell us about it, at Qiddiya Water Park in Riyadh. This is your aquatic car, which is going to be a world's first. So I'm very excited to hear a bit more. Hannah, tell me about these products, but tell me what makes them special. Why are you and your team so proud of these offerings?
Absolutely. Well, going back to what Jim shared, our company's mission, has been to get people in and under the water. And part of that is accessibility. The underwater environment is often difficult to get people comfortable in and to be able to explore. And so we've developed products since the company's inception, starting with semi-submersibles. We were involved with the development of the SNUBA shallow water diving system, which evolved eventually into other products like Sea Trek that you mentioned, our helmet diving system, and now we have some new developments in the works. So Sea Trek is incredibly accessible. Guests only need to know how to walk and breathe to be underwater doing this guided underwater tour. So we take guests that are minimum age 8, and we've taken all the way up to 93 years old. Wow. So we have 4 individuals that have tied at that 93-year-old mark, which is pretty incredible. So we're taking grandparents all the way down to grandkids underwater. Most people, this is their first time underwater, so it's really exciting to see their reaction and to experience that joy with them. Guests can also wear glasses or prescription contact lenses, so that also opens up a whole nother world for guests that need corrective eyewear. And we've also introduced now a system called Adapted Sea Trek. And so this is a custom underwater wheelchair, and this allows guests with limited mobility to go underwater and join their friends and family on this tour. So we're really proud of that and excited to offer it to the world. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi will have this system called Adapted Sea Trek. And they also have one of the world's first. It's a lift that will actually bring the underwater wheelchair from the top deck at the pool all the way underwater to the trail to join their friends and family.
That's fantastic. I'm not the most adventurous person myself, but I love the idea of what is going on under our oceans and underwater. And of course, I like to splash around in the sea and in a pool and sometimes some water parks, but to fully submerge yourself underwater and to get that sort of feeling that, as you've mentioned, skilled divers and professionals have, but for myself, I would have no skills, and to feel like that, I think is wonderful. what do you feel? Do you try your products out? How do you feel when you take those first steps?
Absolutely. So Jim is actually my dad. As you mentioned, this is a family business. So I'm second generation in the business. I have two brothers that are also heavily involved in the company. And we've been doing this since a young age. We've always been in and under the water. But for us to do it, I think the joy for me is just seeing people's reactions. A lot of people come out of the water and say, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And for us, we're like, wow, that's pretty incredible. What have you been doing with your life? But two, we're so excited that we could introduce you to this experience. And so that brings a lot of reward and joy and kind of motivates us to continue creating products to help more people get under the water and experience this joy that we get to have each and every day.
And you're a typical client, somebody or a guest who really has fears. They either don't have swimming skills, or they're wearing prescription glasses, or perhaps are just uncomfortable in the ocean. And so we're really alleviating a lot of those fears through the product and program. These are guided programs, like Sea Trek is a guided program, which is offered at Atlantis Dubai and now at Abu Dhabi at SeaWorld. So, we try to take all that discomfort away and make it a very relaxed. Walking under the sea is like walking on the moon. You feel that sense of weightlessness. You're weighted enough with the helmet to walk easily, but you literally can jump off the surface of the bottom a couple of feet with comfort, although we don't do that much, but that's how that weightlessness feels. And that's really a unique feeling. But it's like slow motion.
Looking at your products on your website, they do make me want to try all of them, and they look really exciting. And let's maybe move now to your Aquaticar. That's a project underway. You don't have to have a driving license for this, do you?
No driving license is necessary. So for us, Sea Trek, when you're in this diving helmet underwater, you're really experiencing that joy with yourself only. Maybe you might be talking to yourself or singing or having, joy underwater. And so we were kind of wanting to come up with a way where those individuals underwater could share that joy with someone else. So we thought of Aquaticar, two people in this canopy, they can be underwater together sharing this excitement. And that's kind of what sparked this invention of an underwater ride, and then eventually the development of Aquaticar. So
what makes Aquaticar so unique is it's powered by bubbles. We're actually using the uplift force of bubbles to collect that power and propel it along the course. So it's auxiliary powered by a couple of large air compressors, and it's triggered along the course to release air underneath the car. We capture that air, and then it's released beneath these two large rotors in the back of the vehicle. And that uplift force is turning the rotors, and that's what's propelling the drive wheels along the course. So it's just this quiet, theme presentation, a really surreal experience. This is an adventure ride.
I love that idea of it being quiet. That's a really great sounding part of the attraction. And you can just sort of take in what you're doing and imagine what else could be around you under the water. It's clear subsea systems are all about challenging itself as well as the industry, striving for new, innovative, inclusive attractions. Not that I think you might be able to tell me much more, but do you have any other plans in your head in the works? How do you sort of keep coming up with these new, accessible and even sustainable products?
Yeah, so touching on sustainability, I think before we jump into more innovations, just one point on the Aquaticar, we really had intentional design when we created this ride, and we wanted the customer to be able to kind of monitor their power and maybe add vehicles to the course during peak hours of the day when they have higher throughput, and then remove vehicles from the course to lessen that electrical power needed for the air compressors. And so we've done that with the Aquaticar ride for Qiddiya. Qiddiya is really focused on sustainability. They have a massive solar farm that will be powering the water theme park. And so we've definitely had sustainability in mind when we've designed this ride. We have other products. We have a solar electric catamaran, and that's powered by solar panels and lithium-ion batteries. So sustainability is another aspect that we try to focus on with our product and product design.
But as far as the innovation, Qiddiya is going to be exciting because this is a narrated journey. Inside the canopy, you do have music and you do have tracks, and it's all being triggered by sensors along the course that's combining with these special effects. So there's always that element of excitement. We use bubble curtains to transition from theme zones from one to another. And so it will be exciting. It's not, just completely surreal. Of course, you have some music and you'll have those moments, but there is an actual storyline with this. The next level, though, we're already working with Hasbro. We are working on a gamification aspect of Aquaticar, where we make this bubble blaster, which shoots a high-speed O-ring underwater, and you can shoot at targets. So to be able to have a challenge course that's themed, you're underwater, you're holding this blaster device, and you're able to shoot these high-speed O-rings that are traveling at 20 feet per second at targets, and it's measuring your performance so that it's a challenge. That's kind of the next level of Aquaticar that we're already working on with Hasbro.
Sounds amazing. And I'm hearing these trends, gamification and storytelling a lot more. And even now they're quite big in the water park industry as well. So that was some exciting insights. Thank you. And we'll watch out for that. Now, VR, which stands for virtual reality, that is also a big trend. It's very popular, immersive element within the whole of the leisure, entertainment and amusement sector, as it provides consumers with a greater experience, allowing them to interact with a 3D environment. Jim, can you briefly take me through this trend of using virtual reality or augmented reality within attractions, and how much is this being included in the likes of water parks?
Well, we're working on, let me just back up to say that water is a medium that provides neutrality as far as gravity. And to be able to be in a neutral environment and have a headset on and viewing this virtual world that's been created, all of those sensations that defeat that, weight on your seat, weight on your feet, which is gravity, it's gone away. So your mind believes what you see so much more when you're in this neutral environment. And that's really unique. We're one of the first products to actually take advantage of the neutrality of water to convey all these special effects where people really feel like when you're corkscrewing. But we make, it's called Diver Plus. It's a virtual headset. It's a snorkeling mask with a device built into it. You're breathing from a snorkel. And you're wearing a flotation belt, so you're lying completely prone and neutral, and you're holding on to a stationary thruster that's synchronized with the video content. So when you see yourself speed up in this virtual world, the thruster is speeding up. So it ties in that special effect that just drives the reality more home than normal because of this neutrality of water. And we have 5-minute video pieces that take you from space to ocean to fantasy kind of avatar experience. So, it's really the sky's the limit. These are all CGI created content pieces. And it's the only way you can do it. It's hard to use real footage because it's hard to stitch together an exciting 5-minute piece. And we're really pursuing for that. Our market is more of these elaborate swimming pools at luxury resorts that we're monetizing these pools, which generally do not generate revenue. And so
all of these products sound amazing, Jim, and you're right about the feeling of being in water and how it affects the body. And I've seen an image of your VR snorkeling, and I can just imagine sort of gently coasting along in the water but seeing some amazing things. And I really think your company sort of stands out and pushing these new innovative concepts. But what about the next few years in terms of VR? Do you think we're going to see a lot more? Or are we going to maybe move on to something different?
Well, from our perspective, we're already working on a new product. It's called Dive Bell, which it looks like a dive bell that's ready to descend into the sea. It's positioned over water. It looks like a real pool of water. Guests enter. They're seated. This is a 12, 16 and passenger version. They're seated on kicker seats, so you have special effect motion control on the seating. You're facing outward at these windows, which are high definition LED screens. And so you board the vessel, and we can simulate all that talk chatter between the crew getting it ready. We're getting ready to plunge. We're counting down, and all of a sudden you feel the motion. This dive bell is connected to a six-axis motion simulator. So we have the combination of motion, the individual seating. We have a large subwoofer built into it, so we have that sound effect with rumbling. We have narration, lighting, and then we have these large LED high-definition screens that all of a sudden you feel yourself go down. You see the water, you plunge into it, it's rumbling, and you're descending down through the water. So we're able to create these journeys into worlds that have not been viewed, whether it's going back to the Megalodon or if it's something like modern day Marianas Trench, whatever the exploration experience might be. This is an ideal product that we're working on for aquariums to bring more theme park type ride entertainment that's still educational in pursuit, but it's kind of breaking that mold of the typical, everybody kind of knows what to expect when they go to an aquarium. So we need to bring more entertainment to drive education in aquariums. And then for water parks, going back to Aquatica, theme parks are more about storytelling, which is fantastic, and water parks are more about engineering, gravity, speed. And so we wanted to try to develop a product that would bring storytelling to a water park environment. And that's what Aquatica is all about. And that's really a unique, kind of a breakthrough ride system for water parks.
And Dive Bell it's focused on our company mission still, which is getting people in and under the water. So the storylines and what we're envisioning is all about, even though it's a dry ride experience, they're still having that VR virtual sensation of going underwater and exploring somewhere, as Jim mentioned, in the deep water or wherever the story may be. So it really still is in line with our company mission.
I think VR, though, I'm sorry, I was just going to say VR, you got to kind of be a bit careful at where and how you apply it, because I think years ago VR kind of went a little bit to the extreme, and then it retracted because of lack of popularity, perhaps, or maybe the content wasn't as believable. But I think that content's getting better, and I think the application of it, is becoming more defined in the areas where it's been determined to be more successful.
All of these things sound amazing, and I can't imagine how you come up with these products and concepts. Is it a team effort, and what's it like working with family members?
Yeah, well, we laugh. We always say my dad doesn't sleep because he comes up with these crazy ideas and brings them to the office. And we're like, what were you dreaming about? But it's really a team effort, because maybe he'll bring this concept to us and we'll dream about it and envision what it could be. But then it comes to my brother, my older brother is head of production. So it comes to his plate to actually make it a reality. And that's where maybe we take some things back, scale it back, make it more realistic, something that we can actually produce. So it's a team effort, and we enjoy doing it.
And here's to another 30 plus years and looking at your fourth generation of team at Subsea Systems. And hopefully you can get some sleep soon, Jim.
Oh, yeah. And we're already working on the third generations.
They're all little. They're under 6 right now, but they love the water. So hopefully we'll raise them in an environment where they'll want to be part of the company.
The 6-year-old thought of what a broom is so far. So.
Sweeping the shop.
That's brilliant. And, we can maybe only imagine what water attractions there will be when the third generation is where you are.
Well, we're trying to stay in our lane, which our lane is to try to introduce people to the ocean in safe and entertaining ways. So we will always just stay in our lane. We have a Subsea Creative, which is a design team side that we're designing these environments that we're operating in. A lot of times we'll put Sea Trek into aquariums that have been either pre-existing in design, or maybe it's a new one being designed by theming companies that really aren't familiar with being in the water, doing the interaction more for viewing from the acrylic side. So we've completed a project already in Saudi for a whole themed interior design for scuba diving, sea trek, and snorkeling, creating snorkel trails. So we're trying to bring the best of the best of all these activities in an exciting, controlled environment where it's just ultimate viewing as far as marine life and coral and things like that. So that's really another area that we're working on, which is to help create these themed environments. And even in Sea Trek at our open ocean locations, a lot of times the best viewing is a long distance. You have to go by boat out to a remote coral reef if you really want to see pristine reef. So we're trying to take some of the pressure off the natural reef by increasing or creating these enhanced environments with sculptures and doing coral farming, and actually creating areas where it's more convenient access, it's in shallower depths, perhaps more protected, and still be good for sustainability. It's good for the environment.
This has been wonderful to hear from you both, Jim and Hannah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I strongly suggest our listeners go and check out your website to look at your products and to keep an eye on some of the new ones that you've mentioned. Good luck with them.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, I'd also like to thank our audience for joining me on today's episode of Member Musing. If Jim and Hannah's insights have sparked your curiosity about innovative water attractions, then head over to Subsea Systems' website to discover more about the company and their work. You can find this link in our description section of this episode. Menalac is so proud to bring to light such rich discussions about the leisure and attractions industry via this podcast series, and we can't wait to bring you many more. Make sure you've subscribed to our podcast so you can be the first to join me in our next episode. And I'll be back soon. Goodbye.